Gives me great pleasure and honor to bring on board the new chairman of State Bank of India, Mr. CS Setty on ET Now. State Bank of India as a brand needs no introduction. It's a bank which in a sense has really demonstrated excellence, strength, and also a real hero when it comes to the COVID, managing the COVID landscape. Now, Mr. Setty is of course joining at a time when some would say that the economy is looking strong, the banking cycle is on a good terrain, and like his predecessor, Mr. Khara, said that the elephant is ready to dance. I'm going to find out from him, is the elephant now ready for the high jump? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Nikunj. Thanks for having me on your show.
Before I talk about State Bank of India, I just want to take a moment to talk about your inspiring journey and something which will inspire millions of our viewers, that you made impossible look easy. You joined State Bank of India in 1988. And how the journey has been for you after that?
It has been a phenomenal journey. I think every time we talk about an individual's journey in SBI, I think it is an institutional journey also. I never get tired of saying that the growth of an individual, where we all start as a raw hand, and how we get shaped and how we shape the institution in the process is an amazing one. And this is one institution among many in India. I think the preeminent institution which provides excellent level playing field to everyone. And I always say that in SBI we never ask which school, which college, which course, which degree. It's only your work speaks, and ample opportunities are given to everyone. I think the journey has been phenomenal. I did my BSc Agriculture, but nobody has ever. I worked
BSc Agriculture.
BSc Agriculture,
okay.
But I worked almost 25 years in corporate banking, international banking. So the idea of SBI is equal opportunity to everyone, and is an amazing institution.
My introduction perhaps was the question in itself, which is that I distinctly remember your predecessor. He said, look, the elephant is getting ready for the salsa. But do you think elephant is now getting ready for the high jump?
No, it is, what we say is working in SBI is like being a trapeze artist. Probably SBI is attained the agility now, it can be a trapeze artist. Beyond being a high jumper, I suppose.
Okay. You are going to be steering the ship now, when some would say a lot of challenges are over, growth is back on track, but the future is full of promises, but it is full of uncertainty also. So in the medium term, which is 1 to 3 years, what is the growth opportunity for SBI and what is the biggest challenge for SBI?
No, I think, Nikunj, you rightly said, the economy is in strong footing, so is the bank. I think bank is in much stronger now. The balance sheet is strengthened, and we have invested significantly in the technology and digital space. Now the next step would be that how do we leverage the enablers what we have created. We have created enablers not only in technology and digital space. We have created enablers in terms of manpower skilling, process improvements, and underwriting skills are strengthened across the segments. Today we have, while we always have been known to be a corporate banking entity, today we have very strong retail underwriting skills, and we have strengthened our agriculture and MSME. I think I feel the next growth phase is also going to be MSME and agriculture. In the last 2 years, if you see, the credit growth also is secular in our book. It is not that it has come from only retail personnel. It has come from retail personnel, MSME, agriculture, and corporate. So the enablers which we have put in place in the last 3 to 4 years, I have an opportunity to leverage them, and I see a growth potential. And we are, you're aware that we are proxy to the Indian economy, and I'm sure I made a statement somewhere in to my employees that if this is India's decade, it also has to be an SBI's decade.
So SBI has been maintaining a credit growth which is higher than India's nominal GDP. It's always 1.5 to 2% more than India's nominal GDP. Assuming that the nominal GDP is going to be anywhere between 10 to 11% or 11 to 12%, can I assume that the 13 to 15% credit growth for multi-years is here to stay, not just this year, but couple of years?
Yeah, I think it looks like. While you're right that and much of the credit growth is intertwined with the GDP growth rate, I see that our guidance in terms of 14 to 15% credit growth looks like that here to stay for at least a couple of years.
Now, Mr. Ashwini Bhatia, ex-SBI but current ED of SEBI, made a very powerful comment, and he said the mutual fund industry could be bigger than the banking industry, which means a lot of money from savings may move towards the stock market. Do you see this structural change impacting a bank like SBI also?
The structural changes are inevitable as the economy changes. Obviously, the savers are becoming investors. Nothing wrong in that, and everybody will be looking at different asset classes as the investor awareness grows. But I think bank deposits offer two unique services where other investment products cannot offer. One is, of course, the operational convenience of having a bank account. And the second is your liquidity. Safety, I'm not talking about safety because I think banks inherently offer the safety element. So the convenience and the service quality are going to determine in terms of your ability to continue to attract the depositors. And our focus always has been that, how do we improve this customer acquisition across. Today we keep saying that we open about 50 to 60,000 savings account a day. 50
to 60,000 savings accounts a day.
Yeah,
I thought India was fully penetrated in banking.
No, but the people still have new population joining. Out of this, of course, 50% comes from the financial inclusion accounts. The rest of them are the regular accounts. It also is that similar to what people have multiple SIPs, they also have multiple bank accounts. So how do we attract the valuable bank accounts to us and salary accounts, preferred bankers for the salary customers and self-employed customers, while we continue to serve the financial inclusion customers is our motto.
Okay. So let me just break it for our viewers. Return ROA, the most magical number for SBI, is now above 1%. NIMs are perhaps best in the industry. Corporate profitability is linearly growing in the in double digit. So can I say that if not this year, certainly next year, SBI is on course, I'm going to hold my breath when I put that number, is on course to be the first company or the bank in India, that number, to cross 1 lakh crore?
Without sounding, giving a forward guidance, I can say that this institution has the potential to reach.
But am I thinking right that you headed there?
We are heading there. We are heading there, and obviously the aspiration is to be there, and the aspiration to be the first company to be there. And I strongly believe that this company has got, bank has got the potential.
If you have to reach
there.
this mark of 1 lakh crore, you need the economy and the credit cycle in your side, and you need the NPA cycle not on your side. These are two things which have to happen. Economy and credit cycle has to be with you, and NPA cycles have to be away from you. So can I say for 3 years you don't see an NPA cycle coming in corporate also and in unsecured loans also?
I think let's first talk about the corporates. I think corporates by and large are deleveraged, and they're also cautious in terms of borrowing. I think we don't see the kind of borrowings which are not justified. The need-based borrowing is happening, and also what we see that prudence in terms of using their own cash flows, cash accruals before they actually borrow. So balance sheets of the corporates are good, and eventually they have to. We see that a lot of capex plans are being put in place, which means that the credit growth will happen. In case of unsecured loans, I think moderated slightly now. But I think we all keep saying that there are unsecured loans and there are unsecured loans of SBI. So that part is still there, and there's a huge potential for qualitative unsecured lending in our books. But you're right, there needs to be at least 3 to 4 years benign asset life cycle, asset cycle for the economy to continue to grow like that. And we are assuming that we are whatever efforts, the systemic efforts done in terms of credit underwriting standards being improved and credit quality selection happening, the cycle probably will be a little away.
I know you were part of a lot of processes which were be done at SBI when the new credit measures were announced and a lot of changes have happened. So if you have to explain to our viewers that what are these changes, because banking is a cyclical business, Mr. Setty. It's not, it may be 2 years, it may be 3 years, it may be 5 years, but the cycle will hit you. But this time you're sounding confident that you would be able to manage the downturn in the cycle in a very smart manner rather than a scary manner. What has changed and what have you made those changes when you were heading some of those committees?
No, I think two major things what we say is that about corporate underwriting processes. Not that they were weaker, but we have strengthened further. In the last 5 years, the way underwriting is not about simple preparation of a loan proposal. To give an example, a simple example, for instance, if there is a road project which is being funded by a bank now, we always assume that the right of way, which is actually for laying road, will be available, would be made available as the project progresses. Today we do not release even 1 rupee unless 90% of the road of right of way is in place. This is the qualitative shift in the underwriting as far as corporate book is concerned. And also in the corporate lending, we are seeing that the quality of equity, what promoters are bringing, is ensured. And a lot of times we also see that promoters are willing to bring their equity upfront now, which gives us confidence that our overall ecosystem of corporate underwriting has improved. And as far as MSME is concerned, another major segment which is coming up, there's a lot of data points which are available. Today we have rolled out what is called business rule engine up to 5 crore rupees. The loan is approved in 15 minutes, where people used to say that banks take 15 days to tell us whether I get a loan or not, because we are able to triangulate our own internal data, customer bureau data, GSTN data. So, and the business rule engine is developed in a manner that the customer has to give only PAN number. If he gives PAN and a consent to obtain the data, we are able to tell him in 15 minutes. And if he is willing to take the CGT MSC kind of guarantee, the disbursement can happen in 2 days. So I think the rich data which is available in the ecosystem also gives a comfort that we are doing it right now.
I'd like to draw your attention to something which is of personal interest, which is home loans. Now SBI in a sense has changed the rules of the housing market or the home loan market with coming out with very aggressive rates. Would you like to maintain that aggression going forward also in the entire home loan market or the housing loan market?
I don't call our rates aggressive. They're definitely friendly, customer friendly.
They're friendly
rates.
For me.
They're
But for competition, they call it aggressive.
Customer friendly rates.
Yes.
And see, I think we built one of the largest home loan portfolio today. And in fact, SBI home loan has become synonymous with home loan.
Yes.
It's a kind of generic term for us.
You started low, but you today have the highest market share.
We have huge market share, and we today have largest number of processing cells across the country for the home loans. And we are promising to our customers that if a project is approved, we will give the loan approval from end to end in 5 days. So it's not only about the softer interest rates which compel the customers to come to us. Our process, for example, we do extreme due diligence on the builder. and the paperwork and other things. I think people also trust us that our due diligence quality is much higher, and the service delivery has also tremendously improved, and we took the processing centers right across the smaller towns also now. So the combination of all these things are helping us to be market leaders there.
I'm going to take the clock really back here. Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, he was able to repair the balance sheet of SBI given the macro tailwinds, headwinds which were there. Mr. Khara was able to really get the car back on the road. Will CS Setty now take the car to fifth gear? And what is that big one change you would like to implement as the chairman of SBI?
No, I think in one of the internal meetings I said, when I look back what phenomenal work my predecessors have done, and the achievements what they have recorded are not to be seen as mountain in front of me, but as a clear highway which is laid out.
Okay.
So obviously I think we have a potential to go on the fifth gear.
Which way would you tilt? Would you be tilting towards more digital? For example, took a birth 10 years ago and today it has a brand, it has a reach, it has a size and it has a market share. Or would you be going more towards micro lending, SME focus? What would be your tilt?
I think SBI has never pursued these things in a mutually exclusive manner. Okay. I think they all coexist with us. In fact, we have, as a top management, as a chairman of the bank, we have multiple opportunities to drive. And so the digital, financial inclusion, SME, agriculture, all of them I think are the swim lanes available to us to grow. So I don't think it is at the cost of the other one. But definitely the underlying theme for all this business segment would be digital. We want to digitize the process as much as possible, both in terms of bringing the operational efficiency for cost reduction and also provide the efficient customer service.
Now, SBI is one bank which has taken the subsidiaries public, and I'm just bringing this point for our viewers that in each business you represent, you have the highest market share. Mutual fund, we celebrated the milestone, I think, 2 months ago. Credit card business, right up there. Digital platform, right up there. Life insurance, right up there. What would be your plan to list some of the subsidiaries? You may not need capital, but looking at the vibrancy in the stock market, maybe shareholders would be happy that more value unlocking is happening.
No, I think I've been there on the board of SBI for the last 4.5 years. This is a recurring question which every time we face. But there's nothing on the cards at this moment.
What is stopping you from taking SBI mutual fund public?
See, I think anything what we need to do in terms of accessing the capital market should be need-based, whether that company actually needs the capital. It's not about my divestment of equity or, encashing whatever.
How about buying
valuation.
stake back from Amundi?
So, all those options probably will be examined.
When the chairman is nodding like this, should I read in between lines as a journalist?
You don't read anything now at this juncture, of course. It's too early to say anything.
Okay. I'd like to simply draw your attention to what essentially is happening on the entire ecosystem of the way digital economy is moving. You are doing a product launch today. This is one of the biggest fintech festivals. I mean, such a beautiful thing to see how the fintech world is evolving. How do you see the fintech space for India evolving, and what role do you think SBI will play when it comes to collaboration with fintechs? Are you open to more partnerships? Would you be incubating more entrepreneurial culture? Are you open to such ideas?
So far, I think our approach towards fintechs is more of a collaboration, and we moved from one stage to another. The preliminary stage was that if any product is there, how do we consume that? And the current phase is more of a deeper collaboration, and we probably are the first public sector bank, I don't know about other banks, where we have said that we will not engage with the fintech individually or sporadically. We will have a program. We said that we'll empanel. We identified 12 categories of engagement with fintechs. And we called them, okay, in these 12 categories, please, if you are interested, come and present to us. And we keep expanding these categories. So, for example, digital documentation, payment space, similar categories can get added. we run a process. We say that anybody can come and make a presentation, and then if we like the idea, we like the this thing, we will onboard them. So making the fintech onboarding easier process, and also create a universe of fintechs which SBI is willing to work with, instead of every time I need something I go to the market. I think this is one important process which we put in place. So that collaboration probably in the fifth phase will move to more deeper integration. That means, some of the things what the fintechs currently have, and if they have the maturity and scale what SBI desires, that project I need not even take up internally. They can just come and provide the solution.
Okay. I'll not extend my interview beyond a point. I know it's a very busy day for you, but I'm going to take a leap from your answer, which is that you think private sector capex could pick up. Now we're hearing this from RBI, and we are now getting an endorsement of that from India's biggest banker, which is SBI chairman. Evidence somehow, Mr. Setty, is not endorsing the thought what RBI and what you've shared with us, because the private sector capex is yet to pick up, at least if I look at capacity utilization. If it is picking up, where it is picking up, and how soon do you think it's picking up in full bloom?
I think right in the beginning we discussed about the corporate credit.
Yes.
We tend to evaluate private capex in terms of the corporate credit happening in the banking book. It is not required. As I said, many of these large corporates definitely had cash balances. They have to consume that. Even if they have a higher capacity utilizations, obviously, brownfield expansion, they are not required to borrow. They are consuming their own cash. But eventually, as the consumption increases, the capacity utilization, we see that capacity utilization are going up by way of our working capital utilization is going up. I think that is the first indication of that.
You see that happening?
Happening. And the term loans commitments are there. The sanctions, approvals are there. The draws are not happening because they are consuming their equity and their cash accruals first. So I'm very positive that I think private capex will pick up further.
SBI of late has started lending into new areas, especially in the area of solar, renewable. Which are the new areas where you would be increasing your lending per se in terms of a commitment?
I think solar is one area. It's also because a significant capacity is being added there on the renewable space. But we also see that highly, sunrise sectors like battery storage or even hydrogen are going to be a significant capital expenditure coming in there. To create a capacity to assess certain those activities to be financed, we are planning to have a center of excellence in our project finance department. We have one of the largest project finance divisions in the country today. So in that project finance division, we would like to set up a center of excellence where a unique skill set will be created where you assess a project in these emerging areas. So I think there would be some outlay there in terms of the corporate credit.
Before I throw in my last but one question, I'm going to just summarize our today's interaction for the benefit of our viewers. Then please, stop me if I'm summarizing it incorrectly. First, you're confident of a 13 to 15% credit growth. Second, the NPA cycle, which is the problem cycle, bad loan cycle as we call them, is still a distance away. And even it comes, you are reasonably confident that it will be managed better than last time. Third, in terms of ROA, you're confident that it is going to be 1% now becomes the base. So work in progress would be above 1%. Liability is not a problem for you, and you are confident of retaining your market share.
Yes, and perfectly summarized.
What's the first thing you signed up as the chairman of SBI as your first executive decision?
No, that is an internal secret.
But
I think it's more in terms of, the first file, we don't have any concept of first file being signed. Most of the files digitally come to us now.
Okay.
But one thing I wanted to really definitely put a signature on is in terms of incentivizing our staff for a significant mobilization of deposits.
Okay.
Because everybody is talking about deposit mobilization, we thought, okay, we'll have some spur in the whole activity. Yeah.
How do you keep your employees motivated, sir? I mean, SBI, I meet the team and I've had the pleasure of tracking SBI for many decades now. Some would say that there are no ESOPs. The salaries are not comparable to what the private sector gives. Yet when I meet your team, the motivation levels are absolutely great. What is the secret sauce here?
No, I think the secret sauce is simple. Like every employee in SBI feels a sense of purpose. I think we need to create that you are not only doing banking, you are doing much beyond banking. And as I said, we first of all we provide equal opportunity to everyone to grow in the organization, and an opportunity to work in an area which is closer to the to their heart. I think most of the organization will not be able to provide. And even if somebody wants to work domestically, overseas, the opportunities are immense there. And people are not looking, it's not that we pay low. I think our compensation package is market related. So I don't think on the compensation front, in terms of the fulfillment front, that professional satisfaction front, SBI offers an immense opportunity.
And final question, what is a day like in Mr. CS Setty's life? What time does he start? What time does he sleep? What is the last thing he does before he goes to bed?
I think I spend a lot of time with my family.
Okay.
The free time is all for the family.
Okay.
It starts early. Of course, my day starts at 6 o'clock. Most of the bankers don't have deadline of closing a day.
Okay.
We call somewhere a day and then go home.
But so nice to have you. Congratulations once again. And all I can say is that when I just look at this wonderful journey which you've had, it is truly inspiring. And I'm sure the words which you said, keep the faith, believe in the power of franchise, and everybody will be given equal opportunity. From 98, from humble beginnings to chairman of SBI, fantastic, sir. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With that, it's back to the story.